Director of golf on campus here at BYU. Todd Miller is on BYU Sports Nation. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Now, you probably have polos for days, right?
Yes,
as a director
definitely.
of golf. Is that the most common piece of clothing that you get?
Yeah, everywhere I go, I'm wearing a polo shirt. So
Everywhere. It's awesome. I love it. As the director of golf, what's life like in the off season right now on campus for you?
You know, the summer's filled with recruiting. Even today, I'm going to go out to East Bay and watch a few of our kids that are here in state and watch them play. But also, we do a lot of camps. So we have 3 weeks of camps in June, and it's fun. We have kids from 6 years old all the way up to 17.
Do you get a lot of time to golf?
No, I don't play a lot of golf.
What? Are you serious?
I don't play a lot of golf. I'll play once in a while. If our team plays about 6 rounds, I'll play 1 or maybe 2 rounds with them every 6 rounds they play, but I don't play a ton.
Really?
Do you not play?
I still think you're joking.
Are you not good, or do you just don't want to beat? You're that good, you don't want to beat your team.
I don't want to make them feel bad out there.
It's all about the confidence, right?
That's right.
I still can't tell if you're kidding or not.
I'm not kidding. I play, but I don't play a lot.
Okay.
Wait. What's a lot? What would be considered a lot?
I probably play once every 2 weeks.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. At what point did you kind of, because I imagine you played a ton of golf when you were younger.
Yeah.
When did you kind of pull off the pedal there?
Probably in the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't been playing as much. Every year I play in the U.S. Open qualifier. That's the one tournament
cool.
I play in a year.
Okay.
I played in it last year. I didn't get to play in it this year just because we were doing some fundraising. But so I prepare my game a little bit for that every year. Start playing early spring when the snow melts.
Yeah.
But that's about the only time I play a lot of golf.
Todd Miller's on BYU Sports Nation. He's the director of golf. Speaking of the U.S. Open, certainly very timely with you. Of course, your dad, 42 years ago yesterday, won the U.S. Open. I believe you were -9, if we did our math correctly. At what point did you realize, hey, that's a really big deal? 1, my dad won this tournament, and 2, my dad's a big deal.
I really started playing golf when I was about 8. And so when I was 12 or 13, people would talk to me about it and ask me questions. So I started to, ask my dad more about it, and I saw some of the old films. So, in my early teens, I started to realize, man, he shot 63 on the last day of the U.S. Open to win it. That's cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
So at this point, who is better at golf, you or your dad?
I can probably take him a good majority of the time. He doesn't play at all anymore, really doesn't play at all. Once in a while, we can convince him to get out and play 9 holes, but it's a tough task getting him out there to play now. He likes to fly fish a lot, so we go fly fishing all over the place when we have time.
Awesome. At what point did you become a better golfer than your dad? And was that weird?
Golf's a weird sport that way. I wouldn't ever say I was a better golfer than him, but I could have beat him on occasion.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about golf. A guy that doesn't even play on the PGA Tour can beat somebody that's number 1 or 2 in the world on any given day. So that's fun about golf. Any day you can beat one of the best players in the world if you're kind of at that level.
Teeing off today is one of your former players, Daniel Summerhays, who's made a name for himself on the PGA Tour, doing quite well. Tees off today in the U.S. Open. What's it like to see Cougars like Daniel Summerhays, now Zach Blair, of course, Mike Weir and company, do work on the PGA Tour and represent BYU?
For me, it's kind of an emotional thing, really. I got to watch Zach Blair play at Silverado, where I grew up in Napa Valley, one of his first PGA Tour events. And I got to tell you, I got pretty emotional on the first hole, hearing the crowd cheer for him, watching him play that first hole. It's just great. We have so many players right now from Utah that are playing on the PGA Tour, and it's just fun.
And how does that help you with recruiting, being able to sit down and say, hey, look what you can do beyond your career at BYU?
Definitely is a big deal for us. One of the kids that just verbally committed, Rhett Rasmussen, who's from Utah, been being recruited by a lot of schools. And we told him over and over again, it doesn't matter if you're in a cold weather school or somewhere like Arizona, you can compete at that level. And so it's great for us to be able to say, hey, Mike Weir lives in Utah. He plays on the PGA Tour. Daniel Summerhays, Zach Blair, they all live in Utah and they compete on the PGA Tour.
That's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of kids I would assume, be wary about that, being in a cold weather state.
It's definitely a disadvantage, but once they realize that you just don't want to play all year round. You want to take a break for a month or 2, get fresh, and then get back out there again. And the kids realize that after. Sometimes they don't realize it because the coaches are pushing it a little too hard, but most of the kids realize that when they see some of these guys on the tour.
As we looked at some pictures of your dad and kind of celebrated, 42 years ago, won the U.S. Open this week. With that haircut that he had, could you have recruited him to BYU, or would he had to cut that hair?
It wouldn't have taken long to ask him to cut that hair. That's for sure. That's when our players. Sometimes in the summer, I see them and I'm like, hey. And I don't really have to say much more. They go ahead and cut their hair, but yeah, they don't. I don't have to say a lot to them, but yeah, my dad, he had that long blonde hair and wore those tight, crazy pants, and he had a style about him.
And he had a bunch of sponsorships with, I think, clothing lines and Sears and JC. But were you obligated to wear those clothes as a kid?
No, I was a little younger, but I have opened up a few of those Sears catalogs and seen them in there, and it's great to have a dad that looked good on TV, and he was kind of in golf a rock star. It was fun.
He definitely was a rock star. Well, congratulations on the success of the men's golf team. And we'll be watching today, Daniel Summerhays, 5:06 Eastern time. He tees off. So thanks for the time.
It will be fun. Thanks for having me.
Todd Miller, Director of